hire diversity candidates as well as students into all types of their corporate and store level functions across the United States. This year again, the Home Depot sponsored convention registration and accommodations for 4 students. At this time, I'd like to bring to the stage our Tools for Success Student Scholarship winners. They're going to share the essays that they submitted in this competitive contest. So first, I'd like to have Timothy Lau. He's from the University of Washington with a degree in informatics in class of 2016. Also, Miaru Guan from the Williams College with a degree in geosciences and economics, class of 2017. Kenton Nakamura from the University of Washington with a degree in biology, class of 2016. And Satvika Neti from Carnegie Mellon University with a degree in international relations and politics, class of 2016.
Thank you, Cindy. I'd first like to thank everybody who was a part of making this event happen, and I think all of us share that sentiment and really enjoying our experience here. So it's been a great time so far, and I really appreciate the chance to share my story. So a defining period of my childhood began the year that my grandmother suffered a stroke that left her nearly completely paralyzed. To make matters worse, our relatives went against my father's wishes and sent my grandmother to a nursing home in Hong Kong. Nursing homes in the area had terrible reputations, and for good reason. The last straw was when my family found out that my grandmother had suffered a bad fall due to caretaker negligence. That incident spurred my father to take 2 years of his life and dedicate it to taking care of my grandmother personally. Several years later, I'm in college and I've developed a passion for design. I happened upon a research opening related to the design of healthcare robots, specifically for elderly care. I naturally jumped on the opportunity to help. My mentor was incredibly passionate, and from her, I learned about just how necessary this work was. Geriatric care, or elderly care, is an incredibly underserved and hard profession where doctors care for often terminally ill patients. Learning about these challenges only fueled my motivation to help the efforts. Over the next several months, I dedicated my time in whatever way I could. I assisted with studies, analyzed data sets, and even met with robotics experts all the way from Osaka University. I did all of this in hopes of informing future robotics engineers on how to better design for the elderly population. It was a great experience, but what I found most fulfilling was being able to raise awareness about the issues surrounding elderly care. It is this awareness that I believe is necessary for society to grapple with the complexities that surround introducing robots into the caretaking space, whether these issues are in design, engineering, or policy. Current innovations in the field are already very exciting. A rather recent development is the Robert from Japan, a robot with a cute face and finely tuned arms that can gently lift patients in and out of bed. This being one of the most strenuous activities commonly performed at nursing homes and hospitals. The Robert is just one example that underscores my belief that robots can help bridge the gap in elderly care. With that in mind, I will continue doing what I can to make that dream a reality. Thank you.
Hi everyone, I'm Miaru. Thank you Cindy and everyone and every participant in NAAAP for making this possible. So I'm humbled to share my story. In classroom 132 of Brayton Elementary School, Williams College students were teaching design thinking to a group of third graders. After this presentation, the students split themselves into small groups to design their ideal playground, and 40 minutes of creative thinking, collaboration, and compromising went by. Afterwards, the students presented their ideas to their enraptured classmates and to us college students. This session is one of the dozen in an after-school program my friends and I designed and implemented in our local elementary school. The impetus for a new program came from our desire to help children and the children's frustration for boring programs. Because poverty rates are higher than state averages, the schools lack resources for after school, resulting in programs where students are told to sit quietly and do homework. Rather than tweaking the existing program, I wanted to create something entirely new. So during fall semester, we came up with an idea to start a program where college students could come to the after school and teach their passions and their talents. The kids would learn and also try activities like a cappella singing, animal tracking, and frisbee for themselves. In this hands-on portion, we, the facilitators, encouraged teamwork and leadership skills. At the end of the semester, the kids told me that for the first time, they had fun in after school, and the college clubs and students who came in told me they enjoyed giving back to the community. And now, looking back, I had fun learning about my talented classmates and about the local residents. But many of the lessons learned came from the challenges we faced. Initially, the school was hesitant to allow us to implement because they couldn't afford a staff member. But undeterred, my friends and I offered to facilitate and organize the program. A personal challenge came during the spring when I was at the after school twice a week, and finding the time for academics was difficult. But this challenge taught me to manage my time. And that was one of the many things I learned from starting my own after school program. The most important thing I learned was that changing the status quo is possible. And for these children, that means the world. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Satvika again. I'd just like to reiterate what Miara and both Tim said, just about how amazing being at this conference has been, and I'd like to thank all of you, Fabian and Cindy, for being so welcoming. So, yeah. My commitment to public service has always been directed toward uplifting marginalized people and helping their voices be heard in issues that matter to them. On campus, I lead a chapter of a national nonprofit called MoneyThink that's dedicated to helping at-risk high school students learn financial literacy. I expanded the program to include foster care students and adult learners, and have also gotten the program into a juvenile detention center, making us the first chapter nationwide to do so. We're also working on a campaign to create a financial literacy curriculum with the Pittsburgh public school system that goes down to even the elementary school level, so that students learn good money habits early and retain them throughout their life. Last summer, I worked with the ACLU of Pittsburgh and helped create a partnership with a local community service group to teach a Know Your Rights seminar. We helped inner-city communities of color learn and be fluent in their constitutional rights, teaching them what their rights were if they were pulled over by a police officer, what their rights were while protesting, and also how those rights changed if they were students in a public school. In the fall, I worked with the Center for American Progress, a progressive think tank in DC, to help research and write about education policy. While there, I pointed out a large gap in their policy work considering LGBT students. Through my ideas and recommendations, the policy team is working to include more LGBT student-oriented policies in their work, and I helped draft a brief calling for LGBT student inclusion in the reauthorization of No Child Left Behind. I've also co-founded and am currently running a media company called Arxis Media that's dedicated to creating real media for real people by producing content that's by, for, and about marginalized people. I asserted my leadership each of these times that I took an organization and tried to expand what it was doing to include more people. I saw a gap in what the status quo was and innovated a solution. I dreamed and knew that these things were possible with the right people and the right ideas, that I could achieve them, and I saw them come to fruition.
Now, I know you all say howdy here in Texas, but I'm from somewhere a little different, so I'm going to use the greeting from there. Aloha! My name is Kenton Nakamura, and I'm a student at the University of Washington in Seattle. Through my involvement in the UW's Asian Student Commission and multicultural Greek community, I believe I have demonstrated that I am a bold innovator, and I will continue to use my experience working with people of many different backgrounds to achieve my goal of shaping healthcare policy. While serving as the philanthropy chair of my fraternity, Lambda Phi Epsilon, I actively sought out meaningful and enjoyable service events, such as spending time with the elderly and partnering with Alpha Kappa Delta Phi sorority and the Puget Sound Blood Center to host a week-long bone marrow drive. Organizing these events has not only given me the ability to plan successfully, but also given me confidence in my work. Furthermore, through our Multicultural Greek Council, I was able to set the foundation for greater communication between the Hispanic, LGBTQ, and Asian communities, and serve as their representative in discussions with other student leaders about campus safety, diversity, and access to resources. As the incoming Asian Student Commission Director, I hope to draw on my previous leadership experience to better serve the Asian-affiliated student organizations at the University of Washington. Right now, I'm just that brother with one funny kind Hawaiian accent. Yeah? A year from now, I want to have left a legacy of promoting community building, leadership development, and social justice activism. To do this, I want to host the UW's inaugural South Asian and Southeast Asian graduation, organize a student-led diversity leadership workshop, and collaborate with other Seattle colleges to fight the stigma against seeking help for mental health issues. By attending the 2015 NAAAP convention, I hope to not only use what I've learned here to bring these events to life, but also meet like-minded people and find a good answer to the question, so Kenton, what are you doing after graduation? Thank you to NAAAP and Home Depot for the wonderful opportunity to attend this convention, and thanks to everybody in this room for putting up with my funny kind Hawaiian accent. Aloha.
Thank you. Was that inspiring? We're going to take a quick moment to present not only our 4 scholars with the Home Depot Tools for Success. We also want to challenge all of you. So at this moment, while they're taking their picture, please know that Home Depot, in their support, has given us so many gift cards to share in contests and other kinds of programs throughout the convention. Under one chair for each of these tables, there is a $25 Home Depot gift card. If you will just stand up, stretch a little bit, see if you can find the card.
There's a gift card under one of the seats.
Uh-oh, wait. Why are you going to another table? Did you find it? Yay.
One of the seats.
Wait, there's one table that's not occupied.